Welcome, everybody, to the NARPM Radio Podcast. I'm your host, Pete Newbig, the voice of NARPM. And I have Stephen Fox, co-founder of Upkeep Media, a marketing agency that specializes in helping residential property management companies grow their businesses. So they focus on our industry. Over the past decade, Stephen and his team has worked with more than over 400 property management companies across the U.S. and Canada, helping them generate consistent owner leads through SEO, YouTube marketing, which we're going to talk about today, website development, reputation management. Under his leadership, Upkeep Media has become one of the most trusted marketing partners in the property management industry. Stephen, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for the nice intro. Appreciate it.
Well, you wrote it, man, so I'm just regurgitating it. All right, so I really wanted to hit upon YouTube video, right? So video is becoming a super effective tool for winning new owners. I mean, blogs are kind of old hag now, and YouTube and video seems to be growing. Obviously, YouTube's the 800-pound gorilla. So, what are some easy ways that PMs can start using YouTube, but not needing a big budget, right? Because everybody's like, "Oh man, I want to do video, but I need 14 different marketing specialists to get this going."
Yeah. I mean, the truth is you don't, right? If you want something that's really polished and that looks like it's a multi-million-dollar production, sure, but that's not what you're up against, right? So at this point, the barrier in terms of like what your competition is doing is so low that even if you get there with unedited videos and you're just going and like vlogging, like literally recording whatever topic it is you want to talk about and uploading them, you're already doing more than 99% of property management companies when it comes to video. So low, if we want to talk like how do you make it look decent without having a big budget, easiest thing is use the camera from your smartphone. The camera from your smartphone is really high quality. It's 1080p, like you'll be fine. And then buy a good quality microphone. One I recommend is called the Blue Yeti. It's about $100. I think I've had mine for nearly a decade, and that's it. Like that's literally all you need.
Do you recommend that they do this like kind of like with the way we're doing it, like on our desktop, or do you recommend like where they actually walk around, or they just doing it on their iPhone? Like it doesn't
So
matter, or both combination.
what I'd recommend is do it from your iPhone, but with a decent background.
Okay.
So what you would do is get like a tripod, put your iPhone on it, connect your iPhone with the microphone. You just buy an adapter; it's about $15. You connect the iPhone with the microphone, and then record yourself with a decent background, and that's it. There's nothing more to it. The reason why I say use an iPhone over your computer is generally the camera is better on smartphones than they are on most standard cameras that come with a computer.
Okay.
Now, if it's between doing nothing or recording it on the computer, just do it on the computer.
Sit on
Don't
the
overthink it.
computer. And these, when I'm talking, when product managers are talking, we're creating topics and talking about topics for our ICP, our ideal client profile. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly. Basically, just think of what are common topics that potential leads have for you. Start there. So, like, what are things that rental property owners struggle with? Try to think of like what are the top 10 pain points that my ideal client faces.
What are all the questions they ask you during the sales process, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then make a detailed video for each one of those. So let's say that you start by your 10 most common, like the 10 most common pain points that rental property owners are facing. Then you make a video answering with solutions to each of those pain points. So that's 10 videos right there. You have one video per pain point. Then from there, you can expand further. You can go and create videos around real estate investing, things that real estate investors might be interested in knowing in your local market. You can keep them updated on new local regulations that pass in your area. You can think about you can even bring it really local and start bringing them out to like different neighborhoods and filming the neighborhoods, showing them what they look like. But you get creative with it, but it's really a matter of just don't overthink it. The way I kind of like to position it is if your video is really awful, all that's going to happen is no one's going to watch it, right? A really terrible video doesn't get views. So if you're scared and you're like, I don't want to get in front of the camera, what if the video I create really sucks? People are going to laugh. That's not what's going to happen. All that's going to happen is no one's going to watch. Someone's going to get on the video. They're going to spend 10 seconds. They're going to be like, this is terrible. I'm turning it off. But the only way to get better is if you start.
So I create a list of kind of FAQs, kind of, just brainstorm and just create a list and then just do a couple of videos a day, upload them. How many videos should I be uploading? Is it daily? Is it weekly? Is it, like what's the cadence?
I mean, in a perfect world, every day, sure. But I don't think most people have the time to do that. So, what I'd recommend is if you're just launching your channel, then start off more aggressive. So, try to go for 8 videos per month. So, roughly 2 per week.
Okay.
Then do that for the first 4 months. Afterwards, you can slowly taper off. So, after 4 months, you'll have about 32 videos up. Then from there, you can taper off and dial it back to maybe 4 videos per month. And then as your time permits, if you can do more, then go for it. But that would be kind of like the minimum effective dose, is what I'd say, if you're really looking to heavily focus on YouTube.
All right. So now I put them on my channel. How do people actually find it though? Like that's kind of like the big like, oh man, all right, no, I don't have any subscribers yet, or I don't want to have to spend a whole like people's whole lives are getting subscribers, right? These Instagram peoples and these influencers. Like I don't have time for that crap. So how does the video benefit if I'm not drawing anybody to my channel?
Yeah, so there's a few ways that I'll kind of touch on. So first is, how do people end up finding it? If you create one video and put it on YouTube, no one's going to find it. But if you consistently do this over a long period of time, eventually YouTube rewards you. They start showing your video higher in suggested videos. So, when you finish watching a YouTube video, it shows you other videos you might be interested in. You become more likely to show up there. You'll end up showing up higher when someone's actually using YouTube as a search engine. Like if someone's going and typing in, whatever, how to screen tenants in Richmond, Virginia. So in terms of YouTube's algorithm, you need to feed it content. You need to be producing content regularly. What you also should be doing, though, is leverage your existing audience. So if you have an email list, you need to be sending your email list a link to the video along with some sort of description that's going to entice them to want to watch it regularly. So every time the video is released, you send out the video to your email list to let them know. If you have a social media following, what you can do is you can take the videos, post it on social media as well. What I'd recommend doing as well is cutting the videos into what we call shorts,
Mm-hmm.
which is basically where you're taking 30 to 60-second clips of a long video. Let's say the video is 15 minutes or 10 minutes. You would cut that up into different sections, create 30 to second shorts, and then you can use those and post them on social media. So by doing all of this, there ends up being kind of like a
Like a
steamroll effect.
snowball.
Eventually, over time, it picks up momentum. A snowball effect is what I should say. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you're in Canada. Snowball effect, man. Come on.
Snowball effect. Exactly. Yeah. We don't have snow yet,
Well, one
thankfully.
of the things that you came up with that makes a lot of sense is when people are Googling, right? I think people are still doing that. I know it's going more and more to Chat GPT, which we're going to talk about here. But if they are searching for something through Google and you tag your video, like I used to get a lot of hits on Houston evictions. Like that was one of our bigger videos was we would talk about Houston evictions. When somebody did a Houston eviction, we would show up like before our website, like our video would show up a lot of times on that. So, uh, yep, big fan of it. It is a little time consuming, but the what is it? The juice is worth the squeeze. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. And Google owns YouTube, right?
that's right.
So they favor it. And that's why you'll see YouTube videos show up in search results. And then by taking those videos and embedding them on your website, that's only going to benefit the SEO of your website. So they pair really nicely together because they both have benefits for each other, essentially.
So I touched on AI just a second ago. So what is the future of marketing and property management in your in your opinion?
Yeah. So I'll touch on two things. One, right now, if we're looking at AI search, it's still a fraction of the size of what Google is. It's not even second or third or fourth largest search engine at this point. Now,
So
if
what is
we're
that?
having
So
the
it's
same,
like Bing is still better, is still more used.
still, I don't know about Bing. I know YouTube is much more heavily
Okay,
used
so
than ChatGPT
Google,
is.
YouTube.
Yeah, I actually shot a video on this and I had the stats of the demographic that is using AI search and basically by age category who is adapting AI search, and it's generally younger generations.
Makes sense.
But if we compare that with the age of rental property owners,
There-
it's the wrong demographic,
Oh,
right?
really? Is the renters are
Well,
older, or I
generally,
figure
well, generally,
company owners, property, sorry, homeowners,
rent,
rent, company investors are typically older, but renters I thought were younger. So are renters older now as well?
I'm talking about on the homeowners, on the rental property owner side.
Got it. Okay,
So people looking to hire a property management company.
that makes sense.
The demographics tends to be older, usually 50 plus, whereas the demographic that is adapting search engines like ChatGPT
Or
are more
20s.
so like the 20 to 30 year
Yep,
olds.
that makes a lot of sense.
Now that being said, I think if we talk 3 years from now, that's going to change. I think AI search is here and it's not a fad. It's not something that's going away, and it's going to continue to develop. But at this exact moment in time, Google still takes the cake when it comes to people looking for property management services.
Right. But if I want to be on cutting edge, right? Because look, back, 15, 20 years ago, Google was cutting edge,
Yep,
getting on the front page. Like, so if you got there first, it's hard to dethrone you. So what are some of the things that you think property managers can do to be prepared for what's coming in the next 3 to 5 years?
for sure. So we've been doing a lot of testing with this, so I do have a few insights I can share with you. So, I mean, to start off with, the foundations that get you to show up in Google translate to AI search. So if we're talking like ChatGPT, Perplexity, it's the same principles that get you to show up in Google high up that you need to do to show up in AI search as well, with additional elements added to it. So if we just look at the foundations, having a good quality website, having strong content that goes in depth on the topic of property management for your market, building backlinks to your website, having high quality reviews, those are all things that are important to get you to show up high in Google. Also important to show up high with AI search.
Interesting. Okay.
Now, with AI search, there's extra elements. So, to give you an example, one of them is they pull what people are saying on online forums, on niche type of websites, to see what the overall sentiment is about the particular business that they're choosing to show up. So what that means is having good reviews on Yelp is becoming more important.
Ugh.
Getting your yeah, I know. Getting your company featured or talked about on online forums like Reddit, for example, is important.
Oh, wow.
Getting your
That was a
company
cesspool, the
listed,
internet.
yeah, getting your company listed on niche specific websites is important. So propertymanagement.com, for example, like you would want to get listed there. Those are going to be a bigger factor as time continues. And if you think of it, it's because they're able to look just like a human would at all of the different websites online, just like you would do if you were looking up a company. You might do more in-depth research than just looking up their Google reviews, right?
Right.
You might go online, look at Google reviews, you might look at their Yelp reviews, you might go on Reddit and ask other people if they have experience working with that company. So those are becoming more important. And then market specific, the best thing you can do is you ask, let's say we're using ChatGPT. You ask ChatGPT, let's say we want to show up for best property management company in Houston. So you can go ask ChatGPT, who's the best property management company in Houston? They're going to give you a list. Then from there, you're going to ask it, why did you recommend these companies? Then it's going to tell you why. It's usually going to say based off of
Go reviews
they
and
had
reviews.
transparent pricing. Yeah, they had good quality reviews. They've been established since 1968. Whatever the reasons they give,
They're a NARPM member.
they're a NARPA member. Like whatever the reasons that they give are things that you want to go after for your company if you want to eventually be featured there. They're also going to reference the websites that they pulled from. So what you want to try to do is you look at all of the websites that they're using as a reference for their answer, and then you need to try to figure out how to get featured on those websites, or at least as many of them as possible. So you're kind of reverse engineering what
So
you
it's
see.
like a lot of it's third party verification in a way. Just I guess Google reviews. It's almost like it's like kind of like to me Google reviews like second party, right? Somebody you've done first party, somebody you've done business with. But now you're saying, okay, I have a publication out there. Let's just say Houston Press, and Houston Press is
Yep.
doing top 10 property manager companies in Houston, and then they select Empire Property Management as one of those properties. Now, when I go to GPT or some type of AI, that is going to carry more weight than somebody who's not on that article.
Exactly. That will help you stand out compared to somebody that wasn't featured.
I got to say, I kind of hate it a little bit because the Houston Press charged me money to be top 10, probably kind of like the BBB, right? You want to get a AAA rating? No problem. Here, cut a check. So
Yeah.
hopefully, it comes down to literally like third party people just doing really good work, and they make decisions. But yeah, I can see a
Yeah.
slippery slope here. But it's fascinating because it's coming, and I think it's coming quicker. You said, we said 3 to 5 years. It could be sooner than that, man. I mean,
It could be.
yeah,
It could be. And like I said, I was saying if we're discussing this in 3 years, I think things will be different
absolutely.
than what we're
We're at the
looking
tip
at
of
right
the iceberg, and it's a big iceberg. I know, like VPM, we're getting I think once or twice a month, we're getting leads from GPT or from some type of AI. So it's happening. It's already happening.
now. Definitely.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what Upkeep Media. What you guys do best is you guys help PM companies, with lead generation. Like that's what you guys do. So, what have you seen with your clients on what lead generation channels work best for PM companies? Because what might work best for VPM may not work best for for a PM company. So, what do you see
Yeah.
is working out there? And also give me one or two that's not working if you know if you know.
Yeah. So I'd say working best still revolves around creating educational style content that helps position you as the go-to expert in your local market. That ends
Going
up
back to our YouTube
translating.
videos. You going back?
Exactly. So that translates to your website. So creating it to be a really in-depth source
Okay.
for rental property owners in your local market, and YouTube. So basically, SEO and YouTube at this point are still the biggest lead generators from an online standpoint.
With
If
the
there's
YouTube videos, you talked about a channel, but can those YouTube videos, and this is me not knowing anything, so sorry out there if you know this, but can those YouTube videos be on your website as well? Or does the website just have a link to the channel? How does that work?
No, definitely. So what you would do is you have them on your channel, but then you also embed them on your website. So you have them in both areas. And then what you can do to take it a step further is you create a written blog post to go along with that video below the video on your website. So now you're feeding Google what was called rich media, but basically it's a video. They like to see that your website has rich media. They have video that they can use. They have the text below the video that they can use. And it's basically just showing that you're hitting people at all angles and providing a really good user experience. Because whether someone prefers to watch the video or to read the text, they have the option for both. Now, if we talk about stuff that is not working, um, and this is for, I'm talking for your typical local property management company. Google Ads, extremely expensive to acquire a new property to manage. Can it work long run if you have a large budget? Yes, as long as you know your numbers. So let's say that you know a client's going to be worth $20,000 to your business and it's costing you $2,000 to acquire that door, yeah, if you have unlimited cash flow, that can work. But for most local property management companies, that's not the case. It's not a case where you have unlimited resources, unlimited cash flow. The cost per lead from Google Ads has just been skyrocketing over the last 5 years, 10 years. Like every year, it's just getting higher and higher. And at this point, it depends on the market. There's still certain markets where it can make sense. But for most property management companies, if you're looking to build up a marketing system that's going to be sustainable, that's going to generate leads at a reasonable cost, it's just not a route that we generally recommend going.
All right, so I got some notes here while you were talking. So a couple of things here. Where do you come out on like a podcast? Should a PM company have a podcast that talks about their market, like or or a radio show? Where do you come up on that? Is it worth the? It's time consuming, but is it worth it getting that content out there?
Definitely. I mean, I think the biggest issue that most property managers face is they don't have the time to do it or they don't want to do it. But yes, if you're willing to put in the effort, it will be worth it. If you have the local podcast for real estate investors and rental property owners in your market, that's going to help set you apart from the other 100 property management companies in your local area. I'd recommend between radio or podcast, like definitely go podcast. It's radio is kind of becoming a thing of the past to a certain extent. Podcast, you can record it on video,
Record it from your
take that
house,
podcast,
right? You can record from your house.
you
Radio, you go to station.
record it from wherever. But then you can use that video. You can post your podcast onto YouTube. You can extract the audio, post that the audio part on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, basically any podcast platform that's out there. So you can take this one podcast and create multiple pieces of content with it. So 100%, if that's something that you're willing to do and you think you would be good at, enjoy it, go for it.
Yeah, I always when I bring that up and I talk about this subject, I always think of Mark Ainley. He's kind of the poster child for podcasts. I think he actually does a radio show, which then turns into a podcast, or it's just a podcast now. He has been doing now anything you do in marketing, Stephen. It has to be consistent. Is that kind of rule number one?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's like anything. If you're trying to go to the gym, you're not going to get fit if you go once every 5 months,
Well, I
right?
don't want to overtrain, so I lift once every 5 months. Because I'm sore.
Yeah.
You know.
We don't all have the genetics you have. You're a different story.
Yeah. So, just with Mark, he's been doing this radio show for years, for years. And now they get tons of leads. GC, I think it's GC Realty gets
Realty.
tons of leads from from his radio show slash podcast. So, and now he actually sells commercials on it. So now the podcast is starting to make money, not just as a lead generator, but as, and now he's actually throwing parties through it because he's got so many people that are interested. So he's done an amazing job. So podcast can be really, really effective.
On top of that, with podcasts, what you'll see ends up happening is sometimes you'll get people reach out that don't even own a property there, but they're investors. And they're like, hey, I've been listening. I think Mark is in Chicago, if I'm not mistaken.
Right,
So you'll get someone from California, and they're like, I've been listening to you. I want to do a 1031 or whatever it might be, and I like what you guys have to say. I trust you. Can you help me find the investment property and then manage it for me? So you'll get people that didn't even own a property there that reach out because they've been listening to you.
And that you just said the magic word, trust you. I know you. I like you. People have no idea who you are. And if you're not on the social media and you're not on YouTube, you're not doing these videos, and you're just some faceless company that's got an about us page with your picture on it, they cannot. It's harder. They still can get to trust you through that content on the website alone. But I have found that you build much more trust much quicker with video and having a podcast and being consistent. Would you say yeah? True is yeah.
100%. Yeah. If you are regularly getting on video and speaking to your target audience, and they're watching you for, sometimes it could be months, sometimes it could even be years. When they do reach out, they feel as
They
if
know
they
you.
already know you.
Yeah. I mean, look, I mean, we all do it. Like, think about it. If you're listening to this, you're doing it right now. Like some people, like a lot of people feel like they know me. And I love that. I love that because they're listeners. And I love that. I follow Alex Hormozy. If I saw him walking down the street, I'd be like giving him a high five. Like he'd be like, who the hell are you? I'm like, yo, Alex, what's up, brother? Right. Like, so it's working on you as you're listening to this. So maybe it might be something that you might want to do so that you can build those relationships. You touched on
Yeah,
reputation a little bit, and I don't. You didn't touch on my Google business page. Is that still important? The my Google business page?
huge. That's basically the part that shows up for anyone that doesn't understand. When someone is searching, let's say someone types in property management Chicago, you're going to have a search result page broken into three sections. Up top, you're going to have your paid ads. It's going to say sponsored. Those are your Google ads. The section right below that is the map listing. There's generally three companies that show up there. And then below that are the organic results. To show up in that map listing, you have to have a Google business profile, and you have to have your Google business profile registered in the city that that individual is searching for. So, to give you an example of what I'm talking about, if someone searches property management Chicago, you will never show up in that map section if your address for your Google business profile does not have Chicago in it. That at this, unless you're in a very tiny market and you're in a city really close to it, but for a metropolitan
Yep.
market, you absolutely need your Google business profile address to be in that
Do you
market.
have to have a physical address in Chicago?
Yes.
You do.
To register a Google business profile, you have to have an address. So some people use virtual offices. The truth is, it's a bit of trial and error because Google's getting a little bit tougher on cracking down on people using virtual offices. But generally, as long as you can get the Google business profile registered, it should stick. Are there cases where it doesn't in rare circumstances? Yes. But generally, if you registered it and it's been around for a few months, you're pretty safe at that point.
Okay. And then the last thing that I have here, I don't want you to throw them under the bus, but all property management, we used to use those guys back in the day. I've been out of it for quite a while. Is that something that your clients have used in the past? Do they still use it? Is it successful? I've heard mixed reviews about them.
Yeah. Again, I haven't used them personally, so I can't say. Just from what I've heard, it seems to be hit or miss depending on the market.
Got it.
Um, Generally, I'd say if you're just starting out and you can be the fastest to lead and possibly a little more flexible on your pricing, then it makes sense because it's the quickest way to start to generate leads, right? If you just started out, you don't have anything going for you, it's worth trying. Is it something that if I'm trying to build a multi-thousand door company that I'm going to be relying on as like my primary lead source? No.
Got it.
That's,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. So I'm going to switch gears here. Give me one or two common mistakes that property management companies make with marketing, and how can we fix those?
Yeah. Um, Common mistakes. So do we want to go with overall strategy or like specifics with their website or,
You're the expert,
and
brother.
are
Give
open?
me one website specific and one overall strategy. How's that?
Yeah.
We'll break it out.
Overall
By the way, see,
strategy.
he's asking because there's lots of them. There's lots of mistakes y'all make out there, but we're just going to go over one or two here.
So one of the biggest mistakes I see are people saying, I've been posting on social media. And 99.9% of the time, I'll ask them, okay, and how many leads do you get from that? And they go, I don't think I get any. There's a reason for that.
It's brand equity. It's brand name equity. Oh, God,
Yeah.
I that
Now,
means all
if
that means to
you're
me is you have no idea what you're doing with your marketing when you say that.
if you're a company that's very established, you have a large following already on social media and you're posting, I get it. You just want to stay in front of people that already know about you. That's fine. If you're going out there and you're newer or you don't really have any social following and you're thinking that going and posting is the first thing you should be doing, you're wasting your time. The reason why is because the way that social media platforms make their money are through paid ads. They want you to advertise to get exposure. So you can even look like this was probably about 5 years ago. Mark Zuckerberg came out and he flat out said, like, we're not giving exposure to people that are posting organically on Facebook. And that's because that's not their business. Their business is making money off paid ads.
Yeah.
So if you're going out there thinking, I'm going to open a Facebook account and post 5 times a day, and eventually owners are going to start to find us, it doesn't work like that. So that is a big mistake we see often, because a lot of people think like, oh, I'm doing social
Is
media.
that the same
Social
for
media,
like LinkedIn, and that's the same for Instagram and stuff like that, and TikTok?
Instagram, the same. LinkedIn is a little bit better with giving exposure. They're a newer social media platform, so they still are trying to get more people using it.
Right.
So they'll actually give it a little bit more exposure to people that are just organically posting, but Instagram is the same type of thing. So that's one like big mistake we see where people are
That
like,
is
I'm
time
doing social
consuming.
media.
Yeah, posting 3, 4, 5 times a day, and they're not getting any bang for the buck.
Yeah. Um, Generally, social media is like the last place you go to for marketing a property management company. It's just not the right
Well, it
platform
would
for
be
what you're
better to
looking
take
for.
some of that, some money, and invest in a commercial and put it on Facebook, like an advertisement.
If you're running ads to it,
Yeah, running
yes.
ads. Okay.
Yeah, but that being said, I still wouldn't recommend starting off by running ads on Facebook. Generally, recommend focusing in on search engines to begin with. So Google, YouTube, those are the two largest search engines in the world. And then once you're really dominating those, that's when you can start to focus on social media. And where social media can really be powerful is as a remarketing tool. So let's say you have a lot of people finding you via Google, via YouTube. Now you can run ads to people that have visited your website specifically. So retargeting ads are, if you've ever been on Amazon or Nike.com, you're looking at a product, you leave, you start seeing
And
ads
all of a
for
sudden,
that product everywhere you
It's
go.
on your Facebook feed.
Exactly. That's retargeting ads.
Yep.
You can do the same thing, but to rental property owners that visited your website, left it, and if you don't do anything to stay top of mind with them, they'll likely never hear from you
That's
again.
right.
What you want to do is you can run retargeting ads, and that's where social media comes into play.
Got it. So you got to get a bunch of people to your website first, right? Build that audience, and then use the Facebook or social media ads to retarget them.
Exactly. Now, second common mistake we see
Mm-hmm.
is so many people's websites. Well, so many people's websites are talking primarily to a tenant rather than a rental property owner, which should be your target audience if you're looking to manage properties on behalf of third party owners. But even for ones that do start to target owners, we see very often where the first thing you see on the site does not specify the market you service. So I was talking to someone yesterday, and right away when you got to the site, it said something along the lines of like, I can't remember the exact tagline she had, but it was something along the lines of like excellence in property management. And I scrolled through the site and I was like, I have no idea what market you service. And we see that all the time where you don't realize it because
You're in
it's your
that
business.
market. Yeah, you're so close to it. Yeah.
Exactly. But make it super specific. If you service whatever it is, Tampa, make sure that up top, before anyone has to scroll, it's super clear that you're a property management company that services the Tampa metro area.
If you're listening to this, first thing you should be doing is going to your website right now and seeing if you have your service area.
Yeah, it's like something that's so obvious, yet because you're so close to it, you don't realize.
That's right. So somebody is looking on their website, did not see their location. They realize they need some serious help. How do they reach out to you, Steve?
So they can always go to our website at upkeepmedia.com/growth. On that page, you'll see a form you can fill out, book a time, and then a member of our team will reach out at the time that you booked. We offer what we call a property management lead gen session. Our goal for that call is just to give you as much value as we can. Whether or not you like us or not, that's fine. Our goal is that when you leave that call, you learn something. So on that call, we're going to do research beforehand, and we'll give you insights into like what your competitors are doing to bring on new properties. We'll show you where your company is currently positioned from an online standpoint. And then we'll give you recommendations that you can walk away with and
And all that is
implement
free?
by yourself. All for free.
Off
Yeah.
of, wow. Okay, what is that again? How do we get there?
Upkeepmedia.com/growth.
Upkeepmedia.com/growth. And if you are listening to this, you're not a NARPM member, shame on you. NARPM.org, or call them 800-782-3452. And if you need a remote team member to help with social media posting or any kind of marketing, assistant marketing, SEO, getting reputation out there, if you get those allpropertymanager.com leads, get them right there, real quick. Go to vpmsolutions.com. If you want to talk to me personally about it, shoot me an email, pete@vpmsolutions.com. Stephen, thanks so much for being here. See you, everybody.